if you were to look back at your career, what do you think the maybe, one or two differentiating principles, things that you lived by that nobody else was doing that enabled you to be able to stand out from everybody else and build quite literally a world-class career?
I think primarily for me, I wasn't afraid to fail.
That's a big one, man. That's a big one.
I never, and as a matter of fact, I never even looked at failure as failure. I looked at it as a learning process. Like, if things didn't go my way, I was like, all right, I'm going to learn from it, whether it was on the court or off the court.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest things, don't be afraid to fail, man.
Yeah.
Just make it a learning process, grow from it, and become better. It'll make you stronger in the long run. And nobody's perfect. Everybody fails at something. You don't get to a certain point.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. You just got to learn from it. If you don't learn from your failures, then you ain't going in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're not ever going to get to the next step. It's like, if you don't know where you're going, how would you expect to get there without failing?
Just don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to put yourself out on the limb in a good way. Yeah. Put yourself on the line.
Take the risk.
Take the risk.
Yeah, I got to commend you on that, man, because it's easy for me to sit here and say it because, I think, at every single level failure exists. But when you're in a fishbowl and you have millions of people all over the world that are like, they're either cheering you on or they're talking shit or, they love you, they hate you. They have opinions. They don't have there's just so many. There's so many distractions at that level that I would not be able to understand being a entrepreneur and podcaster where I am. But it's easy for me to be like, oh yeah, forget, failure and move forward, but that's why I love hearing it from somebody like you, because when you failed, everybody saw, right? When you hit an obstacle, the whole world was there in the stands with freaking popcorn and beer, watching the whole thing go down. So hearing that from you I think is so much more impactful than coming from somebody else, because when you talk about it, you have the experience there, but then you also have the experience to be but then next season we came back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's that process of just building in a habit to just get back up again and keep going.
Yep. Absolutely.